2 assists, 21 points. Odyssey Sims, and I'm going to tell you, she had a bank shot for a 3 that finally got the crowd up. And some of that is because, look, these leagues are driven by superstars. That's just the way professional sports works. 8 of 14, 22 points. This was Lexie Hull down here. Her and Gabby Williams collided head to head. This league is wild. I mean, I got to tell you, if somebody can get physically hurt, they're going to.
No Caitlin Clark, no Sophie Cunningham, no key guards. So how did the Indiana Fever crush the Seattle Storm by 20 points? This wasn't supposed to happen. The Fever walked into this game undermanned, injured, and with their playoff hopes hanging by a thread. But then just minutes into the action, something shocking happened under the basket. A collision that had fans holding their breath. What looked like a disaster actually turned into the spark that flipped the game entirely. Stick around, because the way this unfolds will make you see the Fever in a brand new light. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Imagine this for a second. A player cuts hard to the basket, takes contact, and crashes straight to the floor. Head first, the sound echoes even above the crowd noise. All at once, the entire arena goes silent.
Watch this, boom. And look, that's just, now that is a random basketball bang bang play. That's all that is. So, you know, at times, there's things that Lexie does, a lot of things that help contribute to this team. Guys, if you think the Indiana Fever fandom doesn't miss Caitlin Clark and they don't miss Sophie Cunningham,
the teammates stop moving. The fans are frozen in shock. And it almost feels like the Indiana Fever's entire season is hanging by a thread in that one moment. That was Lexie Hull hitting the deck against Gabby Williams in the first quarter. You could see the concern instantly. Players looking toward the bench, trainers rushing out, and that sinking feeling spreading through the stands. Now think about the setup to this game. The Fever already weren't at full strength going in. Caitlin Clark was out. They were missing multiple guards, so depth at the perimeter was already paper thin. When you walk into a matchup against a team like the Storm, you can't afford to lose another starter early. And yet there was Hull, one of their few available wings, walking toward the locker room with a visible lump already swelling on her forehead. All the momentum shifted on that play. This wasn't just another hit. It felt like the tipping point. The one thing that could break the Fever completely in a game they desperately needed. Now picture the tension in that moment. You've got Hull staggering off, medical staff guiding her to sit down, and the scoreboard showing Indiana struggling to get anything consistent offensively. It's the worst possible timing. Passes weren't crisp, shots were barely finding the rim, and Seattle smelled blood in the water. The Storm were already pressuring defensively, turning steals into fast break opportunities. And if you were watching, you probably thought, yeah, this could get ugly fast. For a team already shorthanded, losing Hull looked like the knockout punch that might let Seattle finish the game early without much fight. But here's the wild part. The atmosphere inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse wasn't just worried. It was rattled. This game had been promoted as Caitlin Clark night. Fans packed the building waiting to see her, expecting to at least watch her warming up, and then finding out she wasn't playing. Now one of the last pieces left standing for Indiana gets slammed to the hardwood and has to leave the floor before even really making an impact. You could feel the tension in the crowd, like people were ready for the whole night to slip completely out of control. And then
you can honestly say, okay, nothing dirty took place, none of that. Lexie left the game. Natasha Howard, 2 of 4, 50%, 6 points. Kelsey Mitchell, 8 of 15, 53%. And then she ended up coming. She fought through that pain. They probably checked her for concussion. And then she came back in the game.
The twist. Hull comes out of the huddle after being checked, with swelling on her forehead, still visibly shaken. The crowd sees her standing at the scorer's table ready to check back in. The gym comes back to life, but what happens next is what truly lit the spark. First play she's back, she dives headfirst on the floor for a loose ball, scraping against the hardwood, and the entire building erupts. It wasn't just noise, it was disbelief that she would throw herself straight back into the chaos after what just happened to her. That single act completely flipped the tone. Hull admitted she still felt disoriented, but she told her coach something simple: "If I can play, I can play." That toughness wasn't just for herself, it lit a fire for every other player on the team. Teammates instantly picked up the energy. You could see Aaliyah Boston planting herself in the paint demanding touches, running the offense through her size and footwork. Odyssey Sims started pushing the ball faster in transition, attacking every gap Seattle left open. Kelsey Mitchell finally got loose from behind the arc, knocking down threes that kept pouring fuel on the run. It was like a different team had stepped onto the floor. What started as a moment that could have killed Indiana's chances became the exact opposite. The Fever began to move with confidence, defending tighter, crashing the glass, and every big play sparked louder and louder cheers from the fans who just minutes earlier thought they were heading toward disappointment. Instead of folding, they built momentum right out of Hull's grit and resilience. And that's the crazy part. What nearly ended the night actually became the moment that defined it.
So she only scored 5 points, but she grabbed 9 boards tonight and was up by 20 and then by 30. They had plenty of plays to cheer for. That crowd just was not loud. It was not into it. Her scoring has been down as of late, although she had that one ridiculous game a couple of games ago where she scored like 25. All you got to do is look at that crowd tonight in Indiana. That crowd was dead most of the night, and their team was winning.
Hull's toughness was contagious, and Indiana refused to back down even with the roster stripped short. And from there, it wasn't about just surviving. It turned into a full-on statement against Seattle. Proof that the Fever are much more than one superstar holding it all together. The Fever didn't just sneak by without Caitlin Clark. They dominated with toughness that carried them from start to finish. This game showed grit, depth, and confidence matter just as much as star power. Lexie Hull's fight sparked the run, but it was Boston, Sims, and Mitchell proving they can carry the load together. If you're riding with this team, type "I've got the Fever" in the comments, because when Clark comes back, this group could flip into a true playoff threat. What started as a crisis ended as a statement. The Indiana Fever are built on more than one star.